Gonna have a look at some textures. I'm gonna add texture to this cargo. It's supposed to be pallets of bricks. So we'll jump in game and I'll show you right now. I've got the model in game, it doesn't have textures, and then we'll jump back out and go through how to add some texture. So where are we? So as you can see, the load's on the trailer and you've got this texture not found and it's red. So obviously that means it has no texture files, as we know. So just let it show before we start what it's going to look like if your textures aren't there. So back out of that and we'll get work and see if we can add some texture to it. Alrighty. So this is the path for the cargo, the bricks that I've got there. Now I've got, so in this your PMDs, there's two different PMDs for this cargo type, and there's a default material and there's one DDS, which I've opened up in Photoshop. So this is obviously the texture, your brick texture, and I think this section here is supposed to be the straps. What I'm going to do just quickly, I want to change that color. I want the strap to be blue. So you could get a picture of Google basically, and pretty much all I do is take a DDS file that's already a texture. That way all the formatting and everything is there, and I'll just copy and paste me picture off Google over that original DDS file. That'll do me. I think you can do all this in paint.net. Photoshop is really good, but yes, you gotta pay for it if you don't know where to find it. Yes. Alright, so we'll jump into Zmodeler. First thing we'll do, up here there's a texture browser. So we're going to basically import that DDS file to the texture browser. First of all, we'll go up here, we'll go create or new group, and it'll create this, and I'll show you later what happens with that. So just do that at first, make sure that's highlighted, and then click add, navigate to your cargo or wherever your texture DDS file is. This is the one we want, gives you a little preview, and we'll open that. We'll click OK on that. Alright, the next one we'll go to is right next to that, called Material Browser. We'll click on that. So there's always a default material, and this material is that one there that's sitting in the folder already. So what we'll do, I'll just delete that one and I'll go from scratch. We'll go new. We're going to call this bricks. Make sure that's highlighted. Come over here, double click on shader. You'll see that changes a little bit. Make sure it's highlighted again. Down here, shaders system. Double click on diffuse spec and you'll see this changes. In the adapt, we'll go diff.spec and we'll hit enter. So next, double click on that and you'll get this box pop up. So over here If you go to, what are we in? Parameters alpha blend depth. Under source, we'll go 1. Destination, we'll go 0. I'll just leave that for now. I think when I save or when I export, I get a little error down here saying it's not alpha, and I think that's the reason why, but it does it. It converts it itself anyway, so I'll leave it there for now. So you got 1 there, 0 there. So down into the detail tab, we'll click on the texture map. It takes us back to that texture browser. So bricks is the one we want. Make sure it's highlighted. Click OK. You'll see your little sphere over here. Just added that texture to the sphere. If you want more shine or less shine to that texture, just move this power over here, but we'll leave it wherever it was, somewhere there like that. Just close that one and hit OK. Righto, but still no texture. So go into your model, I guess you want to call this. We are using, well, I'm using this one. So if I turn that on and off, I know there's obviously different models in this one cargo. So I'm using this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to hit isolate. If there was a heap of other stuff in this same model, it would isolate only that section and everything else would disappear. So yeah, we've highlighted that, click to isolate. We're going to come up here to properties. Normally this would probably all be closed. Yep. So you'll probably see it like this. You'll come down to open mesh, go to polygons, and you want materials. So when you click the drop down box, the bricks that we just created up in the material browser, bricks, that name there is in there. So we want to select that, we want to hit apply. So your texture applies. And it's not bad, except our straps. We've got the blue line that we want on the straps across the middle of the brick. So we'll map that. So if you come over to one of these windows, left, right, up, down, back, whatever you want, I'll do it on left. Highlight that whole thing. Right click on it and hit go mapping and then go edit UV. Just copy what settings I have here. I'm pretty sure when you first do this there is some settings that have to change or that are not what I have in here. So you want to generate new number 1 up here, continuous mesh surface, ignore hidden geometries, from XY, copy from channel 1, and once that's done, when you hit OK, next time you go to texture something, that always stays as how you've already set it, even after you close Zmodeler. I do remember when I first did it, the settings were different, but just copy what I have here, and then you shouldn't have to touch it again. So we'll hit OK on that. You'll see really quickly then something loaded over here. I can't remember what it says. So once that's done, back up to your view window here. You want to get down to UV mapping. And when you click UV mapping, you'll see your texture over here will most likely go a bit crazy. No, it didn't. Okay. Once you're in UV mapping, down here to materials. So this is our bricks. You're going to click on that, and this is the DDS, the bricks DDS that has the texture in it. So you click there, you'll see our model actually appears, and you've got the DDS file behind it. So what we want to do, and I'm not going to do this perfectly, but in this screen, this UV mapper, you can actually pull the model to pieces. So normally in one of your screens up here, if you were to put your mouse on there, it just wants to select the whole model. In the UV mapper, you can pull the model apart. So if I scroll right in, I can pull it apart to pallet boards and the strapping. So what you do, and we'll just go quickly here, all similar movements. So we want to move these pieces around, so we want to click on move, we want our X, Y, so we can just freely move it around. I'm going to grab hold of that end stack there, which should be that stack. Yep, so when you grab hold of it, you see it move around. And I'll just basically just dump it here. So yes, the brick, actually I'll go down here with it, I might. The bricks look massive. Ooh, hang on, I've just noticed something. I'll go back on that. What I will do is, yeah, I'll do that. So when you're going to move it, obviously I'm still going to move that, but it's going to move both stacks of bricks. Before I was only moving the one stack. So you just highlight that basically, but I still haven't got the strap highlighted, I don't have the pallet highlighted. So now I'll grab it, you see both on the right hand side there, both stacks are moving. So I'll come down here, because that was a pretty good view there. So the bricks are massive, so we want to scale, and just scale him in and out till it starts to look half decent basically. So see they're getting a bit smaller there, it sort of actually starts to look like a brick stack, not like a Besser brick stack if you're from Queensland. Yeah, we'll go about there for now. So that's our stack of bricks done. Next, so to deselect that, just click over there somewhere. That's all I did, deselects that. We'll grab hold of that strap. And we want that blue colour that I put in the corner. I want that blue strap, so just move him over and find that. It's not really the blue that I wanted, but that'll do. So you can see, obviously this is bigger than the colour is. So if you look over, it's still actually got a bit of the brick texture on the side of the strap. So scale, so you just scale it, hit scale. We'll make that smaller. Yep. Now drag it over. Beautiful. Alright, so we've got a blue strap going straight across. Probably could go smaller there, but anyway. How's the pallet look? Pallet looks like it's got bricks on the side. We'll grab hold of that pallet as well, and we'll move it around till we get some sort of timber looking texture on it. So you see there I've selected, but I haven't selected everything, so you're just going to make sure you do get the whole thing. Move him around. Where's some timber? Something like that. How's that look? Looks... what's going on here? Yeah, looks rough enough. Alrighty, so once that's done, so you can see while I moved all them bits and pieces around up in this UV mapper, up in your actual model it's still all sitting in the same spots. This is sort of a different, it obviously part of the same program, but it has different configurations or setup than the rest of these view windows. So once that's done, you don't have to assign anything. You don't. That's pretty much all you do from there. You can then go back to your left view. Your texture hasn't moved; it stays there. Alright. One other thing, and I should have done it as we created them. We'll go back up into that material browser. I just want to save that material. So just highlight it, hit save, navigate to where your texture file and the PMD file is for the whatever you're texturing. So I'm in cargoes on the freighter trailers, and I'm going to call that bricks because that's what I called it there. We'll save that, and there's that that alpha thing I was talking about. It assigns it anyway, and I'm only assuming if I'd have clicked on alpha before in here that I wouldn't get this error. I'll have to try it one time, but I'm only assuming. So we're done. We've added the textures. Next we will export that and we'll override the PMD that we started with. Export bricks. Yep. So I got that error again. Alright, so just clear those errors, right click there, hit clear. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a new project, you want to call it, and I just want to show you what happens. No, I don't want to save that because I've already exported it, and now I'm going to go import. I'm going to re-import the bricks. Righto, so this is what I wanted to show you. Yes, it's still loaded, but what it'll load like is this, like it's lost its textures, right? Which it has, and what it's done is Zmodeler creates a file path for a thing called a TOBJ, which stores file paths from what I can work out, and you can see down the bottom here, it's got this. It can't. The model or Zmodeler couldn't find our bricks.dds, and I'll show you why. So you go back into where your PMD is for your, so for me, for my cargo, and you'll notice when we started, this file folder wasn't here. So if you open that up, that's the bricks TOBJ that Zmodeler just created when we did the export after we did our textures. And all Zmodeler's asking us to do, all it was saying is it can't see that DDS in that file path. So if we have a look, I don't know if I can do that. Yep. Vehicle cargo bricks. So vehicle cargo bricks new folder. So it'd be vehicle cargo bricks new folder. It's trying to find that file in that folder. That's all it's trying to do. So very simply, take a copy, dump that DDS into that folder. That's all you have to do. We'll minimize that. We will clear that error. We will hit new, we'll go no, and then we will import that again. No errors. My texture's back. Righto. So let's jump in game and see if the texture's actually in game. Let's have a look. There we go. So I didn't bother mucking around getting too serious with the textures here, but we can see the stack that I did do. The textures on the side anyway, on the back look like rubbish, but on the side look pretty good. We've got our blue strap that looks like a blue piece of steel, doesn't really resemble a strap, but and on top looks a bit second hand as well. So you could get, that's just pretty basic what I've done. You can go right into, when you're in that UV mapper, pulling the model to pieces. So you'd pull all the sides to pieces and apply that texture to the sides, the top. You'd even do that in Zmodeler itself before you get into the UV mapper. But I'll just sort of show you pretty basic how to apply a texture that shows the basic principles of how it's done. So I used to run into a lot of issues with that folder being created up here, and I never knew about it and tearing my hair out. So just remember that when you see that error, read those file paths that come up, and then go and follow that file path. So if you the start of the video, that folder wasn't there at all. So we'll leave it there. That's, like I said, pretty basic textures, but I hope that can get you guys started on applying textures anyway. And thank you for watching.